So this is a quick whistle-stop presentation about the HOPE project. So as you go along, if you've got any questions, you can put them in the chat, or we can wait to the end of the presentation and we'll have 5-10 minutes of questions, if that's okay. So my name's Gail Bailey and I work for Street Teams. So I am the historic, this is quite confusing when you've got things coming at the side as well. So I am the transition and historic worker for Street Teams, and I've been with Street Teams now, I would say, for roughly, in June it would be 5 years. So I started as the transition worker, went on to work for New Beginnings, which Louise Richards would know a lot about that. Then went to Community Futures Project, and now I'm back to what I love the most, and that's transition work. So the reason why I'm telling you about the transition project is because this is where the HOPE project evolved from. So for you guys that don't know about the transition project, so transition is working with young people and young adults that have past history of exploitation or still being exploited. And the age range that I work with is 16 if they're in care, or 17 up to 25 years of age. So the support that I provide for clients that are under the transition project is range from anything and everything. So support with drug and alcohol services, support in employment and training, somebody to speak to on the phone, somebody to talk to if they are still being exploited, support with going to the police. It's endless support that we can provide for the clients on the transition project. So the referral pathway for the transition is, if you suspect that a young person or a young adult is still being exploited, then it would go on an all-age exploitation tool, put into triage. Triage is Pete. Hi, Pete.
Hi, Gail. Are you okay? Sorry I'm late, mate. I'm trying to get my system loaded up.
We've only just started anyway, mate.
Oh, thank you, mate.
So we would request that would go through the all-age exploitation tool. That would be monitored in triage, and then they would then refer to the transition project for some support. So, and we all know that there's a lot of young people out there that have a past history of exploitation, which wouldn't meet the criteria of triage because they're not being exploited, but they have done in their younger years. So what I would ask for that would be is just a phone call or an email to myself. Pete, can you mute yourself, mate, please, if you don't mind? Thank you. So then I would ask for you just to give me a call, just to send me an email. We can have we can discuss about the referral, and just to see what support that we can provide from there. So this is why the HOPE project has came about. So why the HOPE project? So when I was working with some of my clients, some of my client group, and I will say the girls because I haven't got any boys on the project yet, but we do accept referrals from boys. We've done a number of mapping exercises, and the mapping exercises look like this. So as you can see, I will call a victim in this, but some people don't like the word victim, so it's victim survivor. So the victim is in the middle, and then we then basically map their exploitation. So we put perpetrators' names, which are there circled in blue, to suspects. And then what we do then is we, if the person that I'm doing a mapping exercise with, if they know of any other victims that have been exploited by the ones that exploited them, then we put them on the end there, if you can see. So it looks a bit like a minefield, but when you do it with clients, it kind of, you know what you're doing, and it's quite easy. So from there, what has happened is we have mapped a number of victims, survivors that was exploited when they was younger. Some that are still being exploited now, that are now adults. So from the mapping exercises that I've done with 4 different clients, it's the numbers that we've got for survivors and victims that are still out there, we're looking at about 60. So, and 60 people that are not accessing support, potentially have not, we've not disclosed to the police, that might need that support. But we know that it's very difficult for adults to come forward. So this is the reason why we've basically set up the whole project. So the whole project is an email. People can self-refer into that project, or a professional can refer them. So, and I don't know whether any of you saw this article in the paper? Can you put your thumbs up if you've seen it? Nobody? Okay. So these newspaper articles was put out last year. So this one was out the 7th of February 2021. And this girl is from Warsaw, and she was in the newspaper article, she was saying that she was abused by 18 males, and she was abused by these for 7 years. So some of the things that are in the article that I'm going to read out to you. So how she was exploited was that she was caught smoking at school, and they blackmailed her, and they said they're going to report it to her parents if she doesn't do sexual acts on them. So when she did a sexual act on a male, they also videoed that, and then she was held up to blackmail for that. And over 7 years, she was abused by 18 males. So in some of the things that she says in that newspaper article is, they punched me whilst he was sexually abusing me. They would whistle, which was a sign to come over. I used to dread that whistle. She fled Warsaw at the age of 18. And when she was younger, she didn't go to the police due to a strict Muslim family, because what she was saying was, in her culture, if she found out that males was having sex with her, males was already raping her, then it would bring dishonour on the family. So that girl is working with street teams now, and she has done for 3 years, and she's going through a police investigation. And another article, so after this one came out, another one came out on the 14th of March 2021, and she was raped at the age of 12. Some of the things in the article, she states, he used to tell me I was beautiful. He used to treat me nice at first. He told me to get in his friend's car. He says he says to his friends, treat her how I treat her, basically meaning to try and pass me around his friends. I remember going to a house with another girl, and there was a lot of men. The other girl, something happened to her. She went upstairs with 2 men after she wanted to go home. I haven't seen her since. I was put in care, but they still didn't stop the abuse. I know other girls, but I don't think they will speak for the police. So this is another reason why the whole project has come about. This girl I was supporting, this girl is now 25, and I was supporting her, but she's disengaged with the whole project now. But we do check in now and again to see if she's okay. So some of the case studies from working in some clients that have come through to the whole project, and I know that Pete knows one of the clients that I'm going to speak about. She came to me last year at the age of 22, and she was still being abused by her perpetrator of exploitation. A flat had been cuckooed, which now we call it home invasion. He was making her plug drugs on a night, just in case the flat got raided, so they wouldn't find any drugs. He was basically getting other people to sleep with her, and she was in this cycle of abuse. And the cycle of abuse she had been in since the age of 9. So with the support that we provided from street teams, she's now broken free from that abuse. She's supporting a police investigation, and she's now on a 5th ABE. We're struggling at this moment in time to get her to a 5th one, because at the 5th one she knows then that he'll be arrested, so her anxieties are all over the place. She's now got a job and she's working, and for a year we've had text messages every day. And the only way that I could support that girl was having my phone on for 24/7, because when she was with him, she wasn't allowed to go on the phone, she wasn't allowed to do anything. So sometimes when he left, she called me at 10 o'clock at night. So that is the only way that we've been able to provide support for this girl. And another case study that I will talk to you about is I was referred, I think it was just before Christmas. Yeah, just before Christmas, I was referred a young girl of 18. The referral stated there was past history of exploitation, but there was no concerns now. So they deemed her low to no risk. And I've been working with this girl now for a couple of months, and I put her into triage about a month ago. And she is high risk exploitation, and she's still being exploited. So, and what I say to professionals is, if people hadn't referred her into the whole project when she reached 18, services closer, where would she be now? And this is what the whole project is for, to refer for people that you think that need that extra support. And we talk about spotting the signs of adult exploitation, and we know it's very hard. I mean, with children under 18, I would say it's that little bit easier to spot the signs, because if a young person goes missing, you report them missing to the police. They have a missing and found compact, and they have return home interviews. When a young person reaches 18, there's not many people that report them missing, because they're 18, they're allowed to go out. Unexplained money and clothes. If that happens with a child under the age of 18, we see that as a concern. Over the 18, do we say to people, oh, you look nice? There was a concern before about an 18-year-old who'd got vodka bottles in a bedroom, but she got no money, so that was challenged. You know, somebody called me and says, I don't know what to do. I said, well, you need to challenge to see where she's got the vodka from, got the money from. Might have been nothing, but it could be the early signs of exploitation. Older controlling people, under 18, we would see that as a concern. Over 18, do we look at it as a domestic violence relationship? Excessive texts and calls, again, under 18, we see that as a concern. Over 18, we just see that young adult is potentially popular. So this is, so we've devised, and Louise, I know that you said you saw them in some hotels, and that's amazing that the Metro Inn have got them up in the hotels. So we've devised some posters, some business cards, and some leaflets to go out to professionals. We want hotels to put them up in the rooms. Sexual health clinic, they've got them all in the toilets. Walsall College, we've delivered some there. So we want these posters everywhere. So the reason why I put this on is because one of my survivors has designed this, and she's very proud. And what she says, the ones on the left, do you feel as though you were preyed on as a child because you were vulnerable? Were you singled out and made to feel special before being exposed to abuse, exploitation, and forced into secrecy? Have you been made to feel shame or embarrassment for something that was not in your control? She was saying that's what happened to her. So these are all the things that happened to her. This is how she was made to feel. So she's designed these leaflets, and she's quite proud of them, actually. Bless her. And like I says, Louise, it's good that the Metro Inn Hotel have got them posters in the hotel, because I know that there's still adult exploitation happening in the hotels, and the hotels of Walsall. You know, Peter will agree with this. We're always putting fib forms into the police regarding intelligence. And I know that there was a 31-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 17-year-old in a hotel room at a hotel, and this 17-year-old was made to sleep with multiple men. So we know it's happening in Walsall. So this is the reason why we want the whole project to be well known in Walsall, because we do want people to come forward. They don't have to report to the police if they don't want to, but if they do, then we will support them with that. When we've got an amazing working relationship with the police, and the 2 police investigations that I'm supporting with my clients, they're working with their officers in charge amazingly. So this is the email address. So it's hopeproject@gmx.com. So, and what I'm saying to professionals is as well is memorise the email. So then if you've got somebody who discloses that they was a victim of exploitation when they was younger, or you suspect that they're still being exploited and they're saying to you they don't want support, just tell them about this email address, and hopefully one day they will think they will say, okay, I need support, and I'm gonna email the whole project to see what support that they can provide me. And one good thing about street teams is that we will, if they do disengage, we don't close them straight away. And if we do close them and they come back, we will reopen them. It's not a service where we will try 3-4 times, and if they don't engage, then we will close them, because we know that the hectic lifestyle of exploitation, people are not going to engage straight away. So that's the Hope Project. That's a bit about transition. That is the email address. If I go back to this one as well, so you've got my email address if you want to write that down, and you've got my phone number. So I am trying to educate people about adult exploitation. Well, I'm doing drop-in sessions at Wolves College. I'm doing drop-in sessions at Rivers. I went to Transition Living Care team and told them about the Hope Project and the Transition Project. We've done some training to GPs about the Hope Project. A&E department and the hospitals are aware of it. So if any of you guys want me to come and deliver to your teams, please let me know. Adult social care, I've delivered to them, and now I'm just delivering to children's services, because we have a lot of my girls have had the children taken off them. So in their assessment, and once children's services do an assessment, and they see that the parents have got a past history of exploitation, that I'm asking them to see if they would want support from the Hope Project. So we've got a Twitter page as well, so now and again we put stuff on there. So yeah, that's me. I do tend to ramble on at times, so if I have confused you, let me know. If you've got any questions. Anybody got any questions? No?
No specific question, Gail, but could you do me a favour? Could you resend this presentation through to me? Because I think it's also relevant for some of my frontline officers to understand what the services are that you offer and why.
Yeah. Well, I did have a meeting, Pete, with 2 inspectors, and I told them about the Hope Project, but they was more geared up towards working along with Black Country Women's Aid. So I can do, and yeah, if you want to, and I've got PDFs if you want the business cards and the posters.
Yeah, the online presentation that you've got would be useful, because I can also add that to what will be a specific internet page for the exploitation hub that we're creating.
Okay, yeah, fab.
Right.
Now, more questions, Pete. I thought you was going to get me back today.
No, not at all. Not at all. Wait, I think one of the things that I think the word transition is a new kind of word that's come into the world of exploitation, and rightly so, because we have differentiated, and we do still do it in terms of child and adult, and we seem to forget that when they enter the world of 18, to my mind, it's still a child, so there's still that element of vulnerability, and I don't think we are as geared up as we are for children, for adults. So I think for me, Gail, opportunities for training and education around transition and what that looks like, and what services specifically will be involved to support that transition, be really key going through in line with what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I often have to challenge conversations around, well, they're not a child anymore. And I say, well, so what?
Well, and that's kind of like what I was saying about the missing, and I know I've sent a number of emails regarding it. A child goes missing, a missing and found compact's done. We've done return home interviews, but then if that young person who's 17 being exploited goes missing at 18,
Yeah.
then what?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And there needs to. I think we are now more acknowledging of it, but there's now we've got people to acknowledge the transition period. We now need to build a firm response to it and an agreed pathway for it, don't we?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, my ideal thing is there needs to be a vulnerability panel when these adults are being spoke about.
Okay.
So
Food for thought. Food for thought
yeah.
for me. Okay.
So any more questions? Did you all find that beneficial?
Gail, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, who's that? Sorry.
Hello, it's Kieran Mahay from Hillary Primary School.
Oh, hi.
Hello, good morning. Could
Morning.
I just ask what work are you doing with primary schools, or are you looking to start working with primaries, coming into primaries, or is there something in the pipeline?
We do work with primary schools, Kieran.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've got an education worker, Sian. So she does. She even starts from reception age, and then she does packages to primary, secondary, college, sixth form. So she does. Obviously, it's tailor made. So if you're interested, if you take my email address,
Yeah, got that. Yeah.
you email me and I'll forward you on to Sian.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, Sharon, I'll send you poster. Robert, we're based in Walsall. We are Butt Street. So just by the Arboretum. Okay, so if any you need to ask me any questions, you've got my phone number, you've got my email address. And if anybody wants any copies of the posters, just let me know. I've got PDF versions because, like I said, I want these everywhere. Okay.
Cool. Lovely. Thanks, Gail.
Thank you.